Okay, thank you. Welcome back to the meeting of the Wareham School Committee. Again, today's Thursday, August 5th. We were already in session. We took a small recess, so we're back reconvening our meeting. So the first item on the agenda is public participation, but I'm sorry, before that, one of our members would just like to say something.
Yes, I'd like to recognize the passing of Dr. Peter Koval. Dr. Koval was a longtime educator in the Wareham Public Schools. His entire career was spent at Wareham. He started as an English teacher at Wareham High School, and then he became the principal of Minot Forest. And I remember him fondly as my principal in 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade. He was a quiet leader and a credit to the Wareham Public Schools. So if we could have a moment of silence for Peter Koval. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. So next on the agenda is public participation. Is there anyone who would like to speak to the committee? All right, seeing no one, we'll move on to good news. Does anyone have any good news they'd like to share?
Well,
We're back in person.
Yeah.
I would, maybe because she's on my tennis team, but a volleyball player made honorable mention as a sophomore, Freddie Gakitis.
Oh.
She's an outstanding individual. She was an outstanding member of the tennis team, and apparently she was an outstanding member of the volleyball team. So congratulations to Freddie.
Well, congratulations. Thank you, Jeff. Kevin?
Just I'm glad that we're actually meeting in person. I hope we can keep doing so.
Yeah, this is great. And, you know, you just reminded me that this was a unscheduled meeting, and so thank you to the members who were here for being able to be here tonight. So we'll move on to the next item, which is a vote on the amended school calendar.
Yes, I would like the committee to please vote a new school calendar, and that was because on June 24th, Governor Baker signed a bill that designating that June 19th was an annual state holiday. So this will be observed on our school calendar. So if you could please vote that, then we will release an updated calendar.
Okay, does anyone have any questions? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Oh.
Question?
Quick. Does this extend the school year by one day?
No, it does not. If we're in school, then yes, it will.
Right.
If we're out of school, no.
So,
So depending on snow days, is that?
Yeah,
yeah, so it's up in the air whether it does or not. Okay.
correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. I'm sorry, was there a motion to approve?
Yes, so moved.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? 300.
Okay, thank you.
Next is a vote on the WEA Unit B contract.
Yes. We met and have a contract agreement ready for the committee to ratify. Unit B has ratified. Unit B is the assistant principals. Just to briefly summarize, course reimbursement for Unit B members goes from $1,000 to $2,000. We added a work day, so it'll be 211-day contract, and their cost of living goes with Unit A. So if you don't have any questions about Unit B, I would ask for ratification.
Quick question. I should have asked it earlier. When they work from home, are they working remotely? Are they expected to check in? I mean, how does working from home work for an AP?
It would depend on the project that they're working from home on. If, let's say, for an example, if an AP was building a schedule, then they would have that product to show as evidence.
So it's discretionary on the part of
Yes.
both the principal and the AP as to whether they're actually remote
Correct,
as compared to simply working.
correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I just want to say thank you to the members of Unit B and, the WEA for the negotiations. It's always, it's an important part of what we do, is negotiating with them.
They're an
Yeah,
excellent group.
They are, yes. yes. So I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed, abstained, 300.
Thank you.
Next up is the WEA Unit D contract.
Yes, Unit D are the clerical, and we negotiated a 3-year contract. If I would turn it over to Christine Suko, the business person, our business manager, just to briefly go over the money that was involved in the negotiations. You'll need to come up to the,
Forgot about that piece. It's been a while. So in line with Unit A, the COLA is the same. The longevity payments were adjusted. And it, like Kim said, it's a 3-year agreement, and that's about it.
so, yeah, as long, it goes along with what we agreed upon with Unit A. It would be a 2.5, 2.5, 2.75 over a 3-year period. It affects all Unit D members, and there were a few language changes, but for the most part, we resolved everything in negotiations.
All right.
Approximately how many people are in the unit?
23.
That's not approximate, that's precise.
How's that?
I knew someone was going to ask that tonight, so I was ready.
I'm glad I didn't disappoint you.
And again, I would just say thank you to the members of the union and the school committee members and administration who took part in that negotiation.
Thanks.
Are there any more questions about that one?
Nope.
Okay, then I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So moved?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? 300.
Just for the record, Kevin and I were just going to alternate.
Go back and forth. All right, thank you. Okay, and next we have an agreement with the bus drivers.
Yes, this is a little different. This is outside the contract. We opened the contract to meet a need because we desperately are looking for bus drivers. So if any of our listening audience would like to become a bus driver, please come and see us. We have an application. We would be happy to help you be trained. But we're suffering, as many other districts are in the state, about finding bus drivers. And so we worked with our bus drivers union to come up with an agreement that we think will be a little bit more financially attractive to recruitment and retention of bus drivers. And so we looked at their hourly rate, we looked at the longevity pay, and we also looked at signing bonuses. And there are certainly markers in there that they have to meet to retain us, to receive a signing bonus. The bottom line is we have a group of bus drivers that do an outstanding job. We appreciate the work they do. We want to support them. We want to keep them, but we also want to be able to attract additional drivers. One of the things that we're hoping to do with this incentive would be to bring back some of our out-of-district runs because we have to outsource them because we don't have enough drivers. If we have enough drivers, then we're able to drive our out-of-district students, and it really does save money. So if you have questions about the bus drivers' proposed change, we're happy to answer them. The bus drivers have voted and have ratified this, so we're ready for your vote.
Yeah, I just want to say that Mr. Sweat and I were on that committee as well, and I was taken aback in a positive way by how proactive the bus drivers were and wanted to try to find a solution for this problem. So I think it was a good example of everybody working together.
Yeah, I concur with Kevin. I think, I admit to being a little biased because I know them better than most of the other units, but they're a very loyal group of people to Wareham Public Schools, and they do an occasionally very difficult job and always a very responsible job. So if you'd like to be a bus driver, understand it's a great job, but it's a lot of responsibility associated with being a bus driver.
So yes, I would just echo what you've all already said, that they do such an important job. And we've talked a lot about the shortage and what would we do. And so this is, really great that you've been able to come together and make this agreement to try and solve that problem of the shortage instead of,
I would even add, I think the only reason we're able to maintain it as a school department is because of the loyalty of the bus drivers. Otherwise we'd be out there at the mercy of these private bus companies on an annual basis, or almost annual basis.
Okay, so I would ask for a motion to approve if there aren't any more questions. I forget whose turn it is.
So moved.
And second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, 300. Thank you. So we'll move on to the report of the superintendent.
Thank you. We have 3 gifts that I would ask the committee to accept. 52 care packages gifted to Minot Forest from Staples, a piano to the middle school, and $12 to the high school from the class of 2020. So I would ask the committee to please approve the 3 gifts.
So moved.
Second.
I'd just like to say, again, always so grateful for all the gifts that the school department receives from the community. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstain, 300.
Thank you. You have a list of payroll and bill warrants that have been listed in the newsletter. I would ask you to please approve so listed.
So moved.
And second.
All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed, abstain, 300.
Okay, thank you. And finally, the elementary update. Well, we're moving along with the construction. It's just beautiful. I was in the building yesterday, and just the progress that they've made is simply amazing. They're now pouring the map, getting ready to pour the map in the entryway, and it's just going to be gorgeous. So we feel very lucky at the point that we're at. Unfortunately, we're receiving some not so happy news that our softwares, our supplies, equipment like furniture, we're looking at a delay. So we would anticipate that's going to push our move back possibly into, when we first anticipated, into January. So we're waiting to hear. In fact, I heard that our cafeteria chairs were definitely on a delay, and not being able to seat our students at lunchtime would be a barrier to having school. So it looks like now that we definitely will be moving our move-in date back. The other thing is that we've been working very hard to look at our administrative structure in the elementary. And I've been working with the elementary principals, talking to some people, other school personnel, and it looks like what I will be recommending to the committee will be there will be one principal at the elementary. We will move, the APs will be moving into the building. There'll be one principal that will be moving into the building, and the other principal will be moving into central office. We have a number of duties that need to be taken care of with the ESSER grants that we've been receiving. We have some oversight that needs to be done, and so that will be the role of the second principal. What we will then do is make the announcement of who the principal will be in a very short time. We have plans underway. We've already begun the scheduling of students, and when the elementary students receive their schedule this year, it will mirror what will happen when they're in the new building. So we've already taken care of some of those pieces, and we'll just continue doing so. So from the overview, we're doing very well with the building project. We're in the final stages of making some purchases. Actually, we did so well with the purchases that we made. We've had a little bit of extra money that we need to make some additional purchases with, and I've never had that situation before, so that's a very happy situation. And so we'll be wrapping that up. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Jeff?
Not a question, but a further update. So the the furniture issue does not impact the substantial completion date. But there is one thing that is impacting the substantial completion date, which is to say the responsibility of the general contractor to turn the building over to technically the Board of Selectmen, who then turns it over to us. And that is, believe it or not, there are a lot of staircases in this new building. And the cover of that staircase is a very specific material, and we don't know when that's showing up. And so the original substantial completion date was September 15th. It now looks like it's going to be more like October 4th, but even that's with our fingers crossed. So I guess we've been very lucky. The good news is this doesn't have any impact on the taxpayers and the budget and the money part of this project. It just has an impact on when the building will actually be ready to be turned over to the town. So stay tuned. But in a project this big, I think we should be still thankful that it's such a relatively minor thing is holding up the substantial completion.
Yeah, that's great.
But the point is, there's no point in doing something temporary for the steps, because we're still dependent on the furniture in order to be able to move in. So we're just gonna wait until it shows up.
Well, when you're talking about the furniture for the cafeteria, that's really a deal breaker.
Well, and it's not, the cafeteria may be one thing, but there's other furniture that could just literally show up whenever it feels like it. I mean, it's a pretty chaotic industry, according to our project manager. So we'll be happy when it shows up.
And I would also say that we were very lucky that when we hit our construction when we did, because we have not had shortages of steel or other shortages. Projects that are now in process have not experienced that good fortune.
And our cost per square foot is almost an anomaly on the chart that the MSBA has. I mean, it's like, where did that dot come from? So we're grateful.
So budget-wise, we're still in the same situation.
We're still in great shape. Yes, just the timing, but we'll get through it.
And will there be some type of communication about the cost to the taxpayers? And
Well,
how
I'm
less
glad
it
you
is
reminded me.
than
That
what
was the
we-
one other thing. The chairman of the finance committee has invited us, I say us, I think it's the school building committee that's technically been invited to the finance committee meeting on August 25th. But I think I will be attending. I think Kim should be attending. I think Chad should be attending. I'm also going to invite John Foster to attend because he's the keeper of the money. He's the one who's been paying out the dollars. It's all good news. I think the one question they will have, and I should be directing this to Christine as well, is especially now that it looks like we're not going to be getting in there until January, which means we turn over DECUS that much later, what are the budget implications of this delay? So FYI, I know that's going to be a question they will ask. August 25th.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Shaverhood or anyone? I guess I'm looking at you. Yeah. I don't have any questions. I just want to say, I can appreciate the consideration and the planning that's having to go into this move into a new building, so.
And I just assume that at our next meeting, we'll be addressing the issues of the next school year opening and potential requirements.
Sure,
at that
we'll be
point.
talking about masking.
Yes.
We'll be talking about any other restrictions or any other changes. And it's a changing scape.
You finished, Kevin?
Yes.
That's a good point, because I read the July 30th memorandum from Jeff Riley, and basically the governor has said 351 towns in Massachusetts can do their thing. He's only strongly recommending. He's not mandating anything. So let the chaos begin. But I do think it's probably important at the next meeting that we have a good sense of how the schools feel about the governor's strong recommendations, meaning principals who have to make, I guess what I'm saying is, it's one thing for the school committee to develop a policy, or more accurately, approve a policy. It's another thing for us to know that the policy that we approve is actually going to be executable, shall we say? And when you differentiate between vaccinated and unvaccinated staff and students, that creates a whole, shall I say, can of worms.
Yeah.
That I think I would love to hear what you and Andrea and the principals have to say about how we can honor those people who have taken the step of getting vaccinated without creating another set of problems by doing that.
Right.
Did that make sense?
It did. In fact, I sent out a survey today to our staff asking that question. So I last looked, I have about 125 answers right now, so I anticipate that I'll have many more. We have it on our agenda to talk about it at our admin meeting. We've talked to the Board of Health. So we're going to have some resources that we've talked with and that we'll be bringing.
So you mentioned the Board of Health. Have they taken a position?
Not yet.
Not yet?
But we're hoping that, I know that,
So they've been
Chair.
invited, so I did send an email
Into
today.
to that meeting?
To the next meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Bob has retired, is that correct?
Well, I addressed my email to the chair of the Board of Health.
Oh, and she happens to be a neighbor and a wonderful person.
Yes.
So
Yes,
that would be great if she could come.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right, and if she can't come to the meeting, if she can just share her thoughts. And I forwarded the document from the Department of Ed that you shared with me.
The July 30th.
I forwarded that to her, yes.
Okay.
Yes, so she would know, what we were working from.
And who knows, maybe that'll change between now and
Well,
then.
exactly, and that is one of the reasons why I wanted to mention that the meeting on our original calendar is scheduled for August 19th, but one of the reasons that we've changed it to August 26th was so that we're meeting as close to the beginning of school as possible, so that we're talking about the latest guidance, because we all know that it's going to change right up until the last minute. So that's why.
Yeah. Thank you.
So at that point, so that meeting will be August 26th instead of the 19th, and it will be at Wareham Middle School, because we'll also be recognizing staff. And so we wanted to have a bigger room, so it will be at the middle school auditorium.
So any parents that have strong feelings will be able to come and voice them.
Yeah, as always, there'll be public participation, and they'll be welcome to come. Come for that. All right, does anyone else have anything else under any other business? No? All right, then I would ask for a motion to adjourn. And again, say thank you to everyone who is here tonight at this unscheduled meeting in August. I know.
I think it's kept. Is it my turn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.